All right, guys, welcome back. Kings of Opinion was on a little bit of a vacation, as you will, for the last 2 weeks. So we're coming in strong. To my left, as always, I got Wanderer, and in between us is Christina. Everyone say hello.
We've missed you, fam. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. Glad to have you here. So we're going to just jump right in. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is Ocean City, Maryland. I was there last week for a golf trip. It was amazing. The weather was not too hot, wasn't too cold. Plenty of things to do over there. I suggest you guys go there one day if you haven't already been, because you got the beach right there. You got all these different things to do, bars, restaurants, and of course the seafood. I actually tried crab down there for the
What?
first time.
You tried.
This guy.
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my God. And how'd you like it?
I'm proud of you.
Okay, so to be fair, I like the crab leg. Like it was a little baby crab, like yay big. I don't know if anyone could see that, whatever. But at first, Steve, one of our I guess what is it, celebrities that come on the show, so
Sure.
to speak,
And his mind,
tried showing me to eat like the head of the crab.
No. You eat the legs,
and
man.
There was like black stuff. I don't know if it was the eyes. I couldn't get on board with it. I'm screaming and yelling. It looks like boogers. I'm sure everyone at the restaurant was upset with me, but I didn't get kicked out, so that was good. And then I tried the leg, and the leg wasn't bad.
That's pretty good.
The leg wasn't bad, but it was a lot of work. Like it's a small little leg.
Them.
We didn't really have the cracks. Like you could just like pull it out.
Restaurant, you did not have crackers.
It wasn't like a restaurant per se.
Restaurants.
You know, it's called Belly Busters.
It's more casual.
Yeah, it's like one of those like.
If you're gonna serve
Belly
crab
buster.
legs, you gotta have
Belly
crackers.
Busters doesn't really scream fine dining.
Right. It wasn't like you're on the water kind of thing where like it's like a legit seafood restaurant, but they had good seafood there. I think you just literally crack the leg and then it just comes right out. Like you didn't need like it's not like the jumbo crabs, right? Where like you have to crack them at different spots to get the meat out. Like the legs are like this big.
Well, as someone who knows you for a very long time and knows how much he hates seafood, I am very proud of you.
Thanks. I tried it. I tried a fried
Expanding
crab
your
ball
horizons.
as well, which
What
wasn't
about, like
bad.
a crab cake? Those are pretty good too.
I didn't try that because I don't think anyone got it.
I'm gonna make you a crab cake.
But it wasn't bad. It could have been worse, and it didn't taste that fishy with the sauce or whatever. So it was pretty good. It wasn't terrible. So
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then we went to Bearded Clam, which is Steve's favorite bar down there. I don't know if you can see the shirt. If you can't, check it out in the back. I don't know. This is what we got here. Great bar, great restaurant, sort of. It's like just got like bar food. Definitely a place to go on a Saturday night, which is when we went. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Golf was good. Played pretty well.
Nice.
Weather was good.
My outfits were on point, so that was good.
Style and profile.
Right, that's right, baby.
What was your favorite thing that you ate while you were there?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I couldn't really remember all the food I ate, but everything was good. I had like chicken sandwiches, steak sandwiches. The crab was pretty good. Trying it for the first time, so I guess that's going to be the most memorable because, like you said, I don't eat fish or anything like that, seafood. So,
was there one spot that stood out, or?
Yeah, I forget the name of the place though. Right now, I'm on the spot, but Mackey's was good. That's on the water. There was another place on the water. It was called MR Ducks. That's a good spot too. Awesome scenery, like, especially mid afternoon, like after golf, we went there for food.
Nice.
Pickles Pub was also good. They have their pickle vodka. I actually have some here, so I'll let you guys try it off the air later.
Nice.
To get a little swig of that, a little Ocean City swag. And then that's pretty much it for the Ocean City rant for today.
Nice.
Actually, a nice rant, I think.
Yeah, I'd say.
Like
Yeah, it seems like a positive review. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Well, welcome back.
Thanks, guys. Anyone else do anything while we were away for 2 weeks?
Built a swing set.
So
that's fun. How long did that take?
9 hours. 9 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. I heard about that. I was invited to partake in that. I'm really glad I didn't go because I would have been a raging lunatic.
Clearly, women are the stronger sex, but
This is not called Kings of Opinion for no reason, guys.
No, now it's called Kings and Queens.
How big is this thing? 9 hours. Wow.
Well, she should tell you what happened. Why it's.
Is there an asterisk?
Maybe. They were saying that the instructions,
The instructions don't match.
were
Asterisk.
not right.
brother.
Okay, they really don't though.
Oh.
And I'm gonna write a
Were
note
they
to
were they written in English?
Kidcraft, if you can hear me. The
Uh-oh.
photos
I think
show
we got a rant.
one direction, and then 2 pages later show the things a different direction, and that literally cost us a whole hour. A whole hour. Because we had to take everything apart and rebuild it the way we thought it was supposed to be, not the way the photos said it was supposed to be, and then we rebuilt it, and guess what? It fit! But
So-
the instructions are wrong.
So
Wrong.
quick question. That took you an hour, right? What about the other 8 hours?
It's a huge thing. This thing is 1,500 pounds.
Is it true? I heard Josh really didn't help. This is just word on the street.
We're gonna bash him on the air.
We're not gonna bash him.
I love you, Josh.
I love Josh too, but I'm just saying, like,
Hey, Josh.
it's his son's
Josh
swing
wants to
set.
watch
Like,
it.
he probably should have just like a couple bolts here and there. Like, come on out. Yeah, it looks good. There we go. Maybe use a hammer to it, even if you don't need it. Pretend like you're doing something. Guys. Sometimes we do these things, just fake it until you make it, kind of thing. Apparently, Josh is not one of those guys who just rather stay out of the way. Disappointed him a little bit, to be honest with you. But
Love you, buddy.
oh yeah, we still love you, and we hope he's doing well over there and he's having fun with the swing set. So that's all good. I guess now, unless we got Wanda, you got anything else that you've been up to the last 2 weeks?
Just keep on keeping on, enjoying the ride, and that's it.
I mean, you've been doing a lot of walking recently. So where have you been walking to? Like you're like the neighborhood wanderer now.
Just
He's always been the neighborhood wanderer.
Right.
no, just wherever
Wander in, wander out.
just wherever the vibe takes me.
For people in New Hyde Park and maybe probably Flow Park, how far do you venture out? Do you leave the town or you stick in the 2 towns?
Well, it depends. Depends how I'm feeling. But
You don't
yeah,
wanna give
I
your right
might.
away.
I
get
might.
it.
Well,
You don't
yeah,
want
I could
people
never.
going
I
crazy.
could never.
You don't want people following you and
Listen,
stalking you. I get it.
Listen, you gotta stay
Do
a
not
few steps
approach him
ahead.
for autographs,
No pun
okay?
intended.
No autographs, please.
But no, I am known to cross towns in my travels. That is
Good.
correct.
Square.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him in Great Neck.
Also, yes, she's right.
Yeah. I can see you going north to Great Neck or something like that, or even Lake Success. That's not that far of a
Hey,
stretch for you.
when the sun talks, you sometimes you end up, far away.
I hope not too far where you can't get back.
No, I can always get back.
All right. Well, what do we got up first here?
All right, so we're going to start with, should we start Mets or Yankees? What are we doing first?
Let's start with Yankees.
Oh boy, this is going to be a long talk.
Yikes.
All right, so the first thing I want to talk about, is probably one of the few things I want to talk about, is Anthony Volpe right now. There's a lot of stuff on the radio and the sports talk channels and TV about him hitting 180 right now. He's had a terrible May. It's June and it's not much better. Some saying he's pressing too much. He's not hitting for average. He's making like silly errors at times. They're saying he's not able to handle the spotlight right now. And it kind of reminds me of what happened with Didi after he took over with Jeter. I know Didi was a little more seasoned than Volpe, but he wasn't too far removed from being a rookie at that time either. I think he played with Arizona for a couple of years, didn't do much, and he had a rough start in New York of like 2 months, 2.5 months, and then he got it going, and he was great till we didn't sign him back a few years after that. So I don't know if I pressed the panic button yet. I just think because the Yankees are like not doing as well as they should be doing, and I know Judge not in the lineup hurts them as well, is a problem. So they're starting to focus on the rookie, which would only make matters worse for the rookie, in my opinion. So,
Do you have any thoughts on? You're a Yankee fan, right?
I am a Yankee fan. I think that he's
not in October.
Shut up. I think he is a young player. I do agree that putting a lot of the spotlight on him is gonna kind of make it worse, because like when the pressure's on you and you don't know how to handle that pressure, it is gonna make it worse. But I think he has to just learn how to be a professional in a way, and just be able to put all the headlines out of his head and what everyone expects of him, and just get back to basics. Learn how to fill a bowl again. Learn how to get up to the plate. Learn how to ignore the fans in the crowd, and once he figures out how to do that, he'll be a much better player.
It's not a bad idea. Wanda, you got any comments?
Volpe? No, I don't really
Right.
follow the Yankees that closely.
So we'll get back to you on the Mets in a few minutes. You just hang out right there, good old buddy.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
So I think that they should actually bat him ninth moving forward. I don't know if they're going to do that. They normally like to bat him like seventh or even sixth sometimes, but he's struggling so much right now. Just dump him on the bottom half of the bottom part of the lineup. Nine would be perfect, and maybe try to get like a Brett Garner thing with him going. Like he's fast. If he gets on base, he could bring it right back to the top of the lineup, and then maybe they could get something going on the top of the lineup, and he could start scoring some runs, stealing bases, doing the things that he was doing in the minor leagues. I don't expect him to hit a lot of home runs. Matter of fact, it shocks me that he has home run power this early on in his career. I think he has like 9 home runs. If we had Ernie here, he'd be able to fact check that. But he's still on vacation, so we'll hopefully see him next week. But um, the power is great, but you need to get that average. You can't be batting 180. That's like Aaron Hicks numbers. We can't have that. So someone needs to take some of the pressure off of him. The other guys got to do their part too. Like Rizzo's slumping, LeMahieu's batting 230, which I can't believe he's doing right now. Like you can't call yourself the machine.
If you're gonna
Right. Go ahead, say it.
if you're gonna bat that shitty.
Right, correct.
Oh wait, can we curse on the show?
I mean, sort of. That's fine. That's fine. That's good enough.
Sorry, kids.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know. Batting him ninth in the lineup, is that going to hurt his ego more? Like some teams will use the ninth player in the lineup to kind of bring it back to the top. But is that going to instill confidence in him, or is it going to instill more of a we have no confidence in you, and so we're going to bat you last?
Well, like I said, I think if they speak to him in a certain way, like, listen, we want to bat you ninth so that you could flip over the lineup, it'll also relieve pressure off him too at the same time. Because you could also go run the route where like, hey kid, you're going back to the minors. Now that to me would be the worst thing you could do right now. Like no matter how bad the Yankees are doing, even if they don't make the playoffs, which I'm not saying they're not, it's still too early to determine, and they're still floating. And Judge will be back, and Bader will be back, and it'll make the lineup longer. And then when those guys are back, you have that table setter in the 9 hole that maybe in the third inning might lead off. You know, depending on what happens in the first 2 innings, and he might be a little spark plug, and then you get it back to whoever's on the top of the lineup, and you can move down through that, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, and start getting some more action going because you don't want to bench him. You don't want him to lose his shortstop spot because I think that'll ultimately hurt. Like you got to kind of leave him in there, and he's got to get through it. So you got to figure out a way for him to get through it. And I haven't heard anyone say bat him ninth, and I haven't seen him bat ninth. Like I missed a lot of the games over the weekend, but when I did catch it, I don't think he was batting ninth. So I think it'd be at least somewhat of an idea to get this kid going. You got to remember, he's only like 22 years old, so he's still young. You don't want to ruin this guy's career
Before it really even starts.
Yeah, right out of the gate, like that happens to people, and it's a shame when that happens. You don't want it to happen to that kid. Plus, he's homegrown. He's a Long Island kid. Like, let's get this guy to not be Derek Jeter, but to be a solid everyday shortstop.
Right. You want him set up to succeed.
Oh, 100%. Because especially next year, like there might be new roles for new guys, and he might be one of them. He's obviously going to stay on the team, but he might move to second, or he might stay at short, and there might be another rookie at second. So this is going to be a tough year for him overall. He just needs to stick it out. I'm hoping he'll be okay. We touched on Judge for a second because he's out hurt right now. I don't know if you guys saw that catch in LA where he actually hurt his foot.
No.
They say it's one of his better catches, but to me it's just he hits the wall after the catch, and the bullpen doors open up because it wasn't latched. And on the bottom of the wall, it's not padded. It's almost like cement.
Yeah.
So he went in weird with his feet like this into the cement and wound up, I guess they say spraining his toe, but I mean, it's probably some kind of fracture in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing really you could do with
You're
the toe either way.
Sit out if you're sprained.
Right. I mean, you could, and he's a big guy, and that would affect stuff.
If you're as big of a player as Aaron Judge, you're not sitting out when you just have a sprain.
Yeah, it must have been.
It has to be something a little more significant. Even just a little
somebody
more.
else, maybe a break.
I agree. Like I think there's a little fracture in it, and with toes, you can't really do anything. It's
right.
like you cast it. Yeah, it's got to heal. And the fact that he wound up going on the IL, and I'm sure it's going to be more than a.
He's a gamer, so.
I agree with you guys. I just think they're hiding it. They don't want it to seem
of course
as bad
for
him.
Downplaying it.
Right, exactly. So, and I mean, we need him. So you think if he had enough in him to play, he would. Like last year, he played 154 or 5 games.
Yeah.
I know he was doing the home run chase, but even if he wasn't, if he was healthy, I think he'd be playing every day anyway. So you know it's not him. And you got to look at the other side. They just paid him a ton of money. Do you want him? Do you want him to sit out for 2 weeks, or tough it through for 2 weeks and then make it worse? And now he's out 2 months. Because if it is a fracture, it could be a clean break with one slide or one anything. So they're just playing it cautious, which is fine. Just guys need to step up. Stanton, Donaldson, I hate Donaldson, but anyway, Rizzo, LeMayu. I'm a big advocate of LeMayu. He's one of my guys, but he looks lost at times, and he's striking out so much more now than he has in his whole rest of his career. And it's starting to drive me nuts with these guys. It's almost like they're boring. They're getting boring to watch again. And I don't know if you guys feel the same, but
What's the division at right now?
Well, they're kind of in last place.
I think they're in third.
But it's like jumble. It's close.
Yeah, it's close.
It's a tight standings right now, but it's also too early in the season to really start watching the standings.
Like Boston, I think is right at 500, so I think they're in last. And then
Orioles are playing well too, right?
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
my dark horse to make the playoffs. Just saying. I mean, it's still early though. I'm homie too.
Right, the Yankees are in third.
Yeah,
but they're only a half a game in front of the Blue Jays, and
The Blue Jays have been playing.
They're
Didn't they win 10
in
in a
front
row
of
or
the
something
Red
like
Sox.
that? I think Blue Jays have been hot lately.
they
I
might have
kind
been.
of miss the rivalry between the Red Sox when the Red Sox used to be good.
Speaking of Blue Jays, was that where that what's his name? That video came from? Was that from Toronto?
Oh, the John Sterling one?
Yeah.
No, that was over the weekend with Boston at Yankee
That was
Stadium.
in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was great.
I mean, poor John Sterling, man. He's like 82 years old. He's doing the Yankee games at Yankee Stadium against the Red Sox, and there's a foul ball. If anyone hasn't seen this video, it's literally hysterical. But he's such a nice guy, like you can't help but laugh at it because if that happened to anyone, we would all laugh. But he winds up getting hit with the baseball. He's fine, hopefully, by the way, but he gets hit in the baseball like right in the head, knocks his glasses off, and he goes and continues making his call, which is, I think, the funniest part about it. He just kept going.
True professional.
Right. And he's not on air, so you don't see him. So he's even saying to everybody, like, I just got hit with the ball. And he keeps going.
I think he's like, I didn't think it was that close. Or something,
yeah.
Something
He's like,
like
I didn't think it was that close. I didn't think it was going to hit me, but wow.
Well,
Poor Sterling.
wouldn't be the first time he was wrong. No, but we love Sterling. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, me
he has
too.
some great calls.
Yeah, I love his home run calls and all the different names and everything like that. So, I hope he's better. I hope he doesn't have like a shiner or anything like that. Not that you'd see it anyway, but hopefully he's fine and he's ready to go. Hopefully he's doing the games tomorrow at Citi Field.
I can't.
Oh,
imagine
Subway
he
Series
won't be
tomorrow.
Subway Series.
Wow.
No, it's tomorrow and Wednesday, right?
Yeah, it's tomorrow and Wednesday. It's just 2 games, 2 quick games at Citi Field.
Anybody going?
I'm not loving this middle of the week Subway Series shit.
Yeah.
I used to love it when they had them on the weekends, or at least have one game on like a Friday night. Like, everyone has to get up for work the next day. If you're going to go to the game, you're going to be out with your friends, you're going to be out a late night. Who wants to get up for work the next day?
Well, I feel like baseball in the summer is, it's every day. So, it's a possibility.
But when it's an inner city game, like, they should really factor that into the schedule.
Well, the problem with it now is all the baseball plays everybody, right? So for now that we play the Mets, they only play them twice. So you couldn't play them on a weekend because you have to play them 3 times. It'd have to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's already out. So it would almost have to be sometime during the week, like Monday, Tuesday, what they're doing now, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday. So that's what's the problem with that is I think they should get 2-3 game series with your with your rivals like that.
And we used to do that.
Yeah, but they cut it down.
3 game series, but now all of the games that are in a league, they cut down to 2 and 2.
Yeah, they cut it down. Or like you would get one team on the road for 3 games and then that's it. And then you play another team at your home 3 games and that's it. Like you'd have to really look into the schedule, see exactly how they do it, but they're not playing everybody as much. Like they don't play their division as much anymore. They used to play them 19 times. Now they're only playing them 14. So that's kind of crappy now because you're losing a lot of divisional games. But this is what they want to do. to make up for things that they're missing, or they're trying to get more people involved and more cities involved. So we'll see how it goes. Um,
Should we touch on their opponents for those games?
I suppose what the pitching matchups?
No, I'm sorry, the Mets.
Oh
Or did you have more Yankee stuff?
no, we could go to the Mets if you want.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Did you have anything on the Mets?
Just that they're free falling, so the Yankees
Yes.
better beat the hell out of them the next 2 days.
Yeah, they're not doing too hot. Things aren't going well. Yeah, they're just not getting it done. I think it was Friday night. I was watching the game for a minute, and the Pirates were just scoring runs at will. It's never good if the Pirates are doing that to any team. So yeah, we're definitely in trouble, and not really sure what how it's gonna pan out, but it's not looking well.
Well, I mean, to give the Pirates a little bit of credit, they're not as bad as they normally are. Like they're in
They're doing
second
pretty well
place.
this year.
Yeah, they're in second place in the division. But when you're
First,
the Mets,
actually.
they're in first right now.
They're in first right
Wow.
now.
Wow.
That's actually pretty amazing. Good for them, actually. Good for them.
1 game in front of the Brewers. Go Pirates.
Yeah, small market team getting it done. It's like Tampa Bay, but obviously not as good as Tampa Bay. But I mean, the Mets should be a better team than the Pirates. So they should win 2 out of 3, not lose 2 out of 3.
The Mets have all the pieces. They just haven't figured out how to put it together yet. They have a good pitching staff. They have a lot of consistent hitters. They're just not hitting consistently right now.
Right, you could say the same. Like they have the same problem that the Yankees have. Like Alonso's now hurt, so he was their home run threat. But even him, he's hitting 230, which means he's not consistent either. So basically, if it's not a home run, he's not going to get it done. Lindor's doing bad. Like as a whole, their whole lineup is like terrible, and they spent all this money on running back to pretty much the same team they had last year.
Take these same players and run them back in previous seasons. You look at the players themselves; they all have pretty consistent records. But now this season, they're not getting it done together. No one is picking up the slack.
Right, and I think there's a couple people on that team that are on like the downhill part of their career, which is probably hurting them now too. Which it's hurting the Yankees too. It's hurting both these guys.
Those are the players that you kind of rely on. You don't need them to hit home runs. You just need consistency out of them.
Okay.
They're not giving them that right now.
100% agree. 100%.
They're seasoned players. They should be able to get on base 1 out of 3 times.
But let me ask you this: do you think baseball has changed so much where these guys can't be consistent anymore? Because you're seeing it almost across all of baseball.
All of baseball.
Besides, I guess, like the Tampa Bay Rays, who are like, for some reason, maybe they sold their souls to the devil or something like that. They have all these like veteran guys that are just hitting the hell out of the ball this year, and maybe it's just clicking for them finally. But they're guys that they just brought in that are at the end of their career, and now they're hitting, they have 10 or 15 home runs already, and like they're just hitting at a crazy pace. And up until other people started questioning it, then they went on a little bit of a slide, but now they're up again, scoring and winning, almost every day. And them and the Braves, I guess right now the Braves are hot, are the only 2 teams really doing it. Everyone else is almost middle of the pack. And I think that's a problem for baseball. They made all these rule changes to speed up the game, to give more offense, and it may be working for some of the teams, but
most of them it's not working.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe we have to watch more baseball to see it more, but even when you see the highlights, the guys are still striking out all the time. The shift is like not there, but it's still kind of there because guys play up the middle.
See, I never minded the shift. I think that if you want to leave an entire side of your field open, that's your game strategy, right? And if me as a player, I'm strong enough to try to beat that shift, that's up to me. The Major League Baseball taking that out of the game, that takes the strategy out of it.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Like, just play them straight up. You can't put the shift on. You can't cross the bag, whatever it might be. But I think that as a team, like you don't tell NFL players what kind of formations you can have. If you formate your team the way you want, if you get beat, you get beat. Why does MLB come in here and say you can't put a shift on? I think it actually takes some of the fun away from it, especially for a player who's like, I can beat this.
But I think that's part of your problem right there. You just said it. The players are either too stubborn or ultimately not good enough to beat the shift.
There
And
is no shift anymore.
right, but before that's why MLB took the shift away. Like guys would, like you said, they would leave the whole left side of the infield or right side of the infield open. Say, beat us if you can. And Joey Gallo is one of the guys that's kind of said it best, and we don't like him either. But he's like, that's not my game. And to me, as a guy that played baseball most of his life and watches baseball, you're a professional. You should be able to beat the shift.
That's what I was just gonna say. We've played softball together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you see players that are like, okay, she normally goes to the right, he normally goes to the left. You watch them and they put the shift on, or they'll stagnate the players a certain way. You can put the ball wherever you want if you're a good player. The fact that some of these players get paid millions of dollars and can't say, oh, the whole right side of the field is open, I'm going to put the ball over there, baffles me.
Me too. I agree with it.
Because I can do that.
Right.
And I was just a little softball player, but I can do that.
Right.
And they get paid millions of dollars and they can't do it.
And they've been doing it, most of them have been doing it
Their
for
whole
years and years at a professional level. Yes, definitely their whole life, but at a professional level, like minor, like you gotta remember, baseball's one of those sports where
they played high school, they played college, they played minor leagues.
you could play the minor leagues unless you're already a superstar like an A-Rod or a Jeter, where you're gonna be in the minor leagues for a few years. So with that being said, you're used to that kind of competition. You should be able to do something to get that hit, or even if you don't hit.
Even if you bunt it.
I was just gonna say, learn how to bunt. It's not hard. When these guys were in high school, they weren't 6'8", 260 pounds or whatever. They did drills for this. Like they have had to. I did drills for this. Anyone that played softball or baseball in high school, you did drills. You know, bunting, hitting the other way if you can.
Situational
hitting.
Basic
Yeah.
situation.
Right.
You should be able to put the ball down.
I agree with you. You should be able to do something to beat the shift. But that's why I said baseball was stuck, because not a lot of these guys can do it. There's only a handful of guys that could probably do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So to take it away would hopefully lead to more offense. And I guess there might be a statistic out there that the runs are up this year. But when you watch some of these teams, and we're watching both of our teams in New York are like terrible right now. They're not scoring a lot of runs anyway. So it's like they're still striking out. They're still grounding out to double plays. They're still doing all that stuff that they did last year. Maybe other teams are having more success, but besides a few handful of teams, I don't think it's true. But whatever. So I guess we got a little off tangent, but yeah, the Mets are falling. They're under 500. But I think they're 4 games under 500. So these next 2 games are pivotal for both teams.
Both teams, yeah.
To be honest with you, because the Yankees lost 4 out of 6 over the last 6 days. And the Mets have probably lost the same. Because I think going last week, they were right at 500 or game over. Now they're 4 under. I can almost guarantee that they're going to split the series anyway. Tomorrow, I think you have Scherzer versus.
At the end of it, it's going to be 2-2 probably.
Right. Because that's what they normally are. Like either that or it's like someone won 4 and someone won 2. But most of the time, they're splitting them anyway. So it's going to be probably an uneventful series anyway. Someone's going to win one, the other one's going to win the other. And then we'll see you again in a month for the other 2 games in the Bronx and see where the teams are then. Because I think they play in end of July.
Is when the second series.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
when we're away.
So towards it's all after the All-Star break, then probably.
It is.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I guess that's it for those guys. I think just both New York teams need to start hitting. In general. And some of these guys did not suck. Garrett Cole, I'm talking to you. All right. You had a great beginning of the season. You were lights out. Now all of a sudden you're giving up home runs like you did last year. Like, let's cut it out. Okay. I mean, you're another guy making a ton of money. Can we please pitch to the back of your baseball card? That's all I'm asking.
He, when was it? Cold day was Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did he pitch?
Not well enough to win.
What was the line?
They lost.
I think he gave up 3 runs.
In 5 innings, 6 innings?
Something like that, 5 or 6 innings. I think it was 6 innings. But he gave up 2 solo home runs again.
Right.
That's a big deal. Like, he's given up a lot of home runs in his last, 4, I would say, starts.
Yeah.
Where the first 6 starts, he gave up 0 home runs.
Right.
So
I mean, that's not really a bad start, though. It's unfortunate they couldn't, score
It's a
some runs
bad
for him.
start when your hitters are not hitting, so you need to have good pitching behind you.
and it's your ace. Like you
Well,
gotta win that game.
That's your number one, right? He's the number one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
You
saying,
don't
like,
expect your
in
number
terms
one
of
giving up that many
pitching
runs.
metrics, it's still a quality
No, you're
start.
right.
He
If he
was
went
your-
6 and
he
3,
was
it's a
your-
quality start. I
Thank
get
you.
what you're saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
I
Statistically.
don't know. You expect that out of your 4 or 5 guy. You don't expect that out of your number one.
I think where it bothers me more is not his stat line, because you got to look at how many strikeouts did he have. I already know he gave up 2 home runs that I wasn't happy about, and I think the Yankees had the lead at that time when he gave up the 2, so that makes it worse too. Because like you could go back to DeGrom, where he'd give up a run and the Mets wouldn't score anything and he'd lose that game. When you have a lead and you're the ace, that's where I'm like, okay, it might have been a quality start in the book, but you got to hold, like the score for your team.
Right.
Even if they gave you 2 runs, then you only give up 1, or you give up 2 and that's it, and you leave tied. And then if the bullpen blows it, whatever.
Speaking of tied, I think they almost tied it Friday night. Towards the end of I think it was bottom of were they home?
Yeah.
So bottom of the 9th, but it sliced. I forget who was at the plate, but it sliced foul.
It was. I think it was Volpe.
Was it
That was Volpe? Yeah.
Oh, look at that! It's
And
all
then
connected, baby.
And he popped up the next pitch. He popped it up to the infield, and they had second and third. It actually would have won them the game.
Yeah,
They were,
he just missed a home run.
Right, he did. I was
Inches.
watching. Yep. I don't know about inches, but it was close. It tailed late, so it started fair, and then right towards the end, it curved foul, and it was like, let's say a couch length away from the foul pole. But that was the whole problem with that game too. It was second and third, or first and second with no outs. They moved the runners. You got to sacrifice fly. It's like we just said before, situation hitting.
Yeah.
If someone just sends the ball to the outfield, we now have a tie game.
Right.
Now you can try and win an extra inning.
Yeah.
And then
you got to manufacture runs any way you can.
Yeah.
Can't leave them out there on the bases, on the bags.
It's no good. Both teams right now are no good. They're in my opinion, they're both falling. They need to get back up, and they need to start hitting the ball. And let's hope, for at least me and Christina's sake, it's the Yankees that do it yesterday.
Sorry, Wander.
That's okay.
But so the last thing I want to talk about baseball before we move on is, I don't know if you guys knew this. I didn't even know this until like a week ago. So the whole sticky stuff, they check your hand or whatever, you get a suspension of like 10 games your first time.
Right.
After that, if you get caught again, it's almost like the steroids thing. You get
100?
caught once, it's 80 games. And then after that, it's like 100, like a season.
Like a whole season.
Right.
Yeah.
With this, it's 50 games.
Oh, for second violation?
Second violation,
wow.
50 games.
That's a lot of games for
That's
a pitcher.
Like a third of the season. I know that's a pitcher, so they literally do 50 games. So a lot of that you're not even going to be pitching.
Right.
But you lose, I think, the roster spot.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, you can't switch someone in for that. Like, you just are down a pitcher.
Right. What is that, like 10 starts or something like that?
Something like that.
I let the line say I knew that, but so then
With what?
That you're down a roster spot.
Yeah, I think that's the whole purpose, because otherwise,
Wait,
like, I'm
if
not.
someone's suspended, you can't sub someone in for them.
I think you lose the roster spot because it's almost like
it's
I could be wrong.
It's a bad reflection on the team.
Right. I could be wrong. That might not be the case. But to me, it doesn't make sense if you're suspending a guy for 50 consecutive games and he only pitches 10 of them, maybe 11 of them max. Like, there's got to be something, and we'll look into it.
Because let's say, like, I'm the third baseman, and I just walk up to you and I punch you in the face for no reason.
Wow, that's vicious.
I get suspended for 10 games. They
Right.
have someone subbing in for me in the roster. They wouldn't just take me.
Are you sure about that? I'm not so sure about that. I don't know how the suspensions overall works. I guess I'm thinking of it more logically, and maybe we could look it up at another point and get back to everybody, unless if you're going to do it now. But yeah, either which way.
Because now I kind of want to know the answer.
Yeah, me too. Because I don't see how, unless it's just like you might lose an ace or something like that for 11 starts. But like, if you lose some, like, for lack of a better word, bum, right? What's the big deal if you could just bring somebody up in his place? That guy might do better. You never know. Hopefully we get to it. So I'm going to briefly just touch on golf while she's looking it up. So there was like the Canadian PGA Tour event up in Canada, and a Canadian-born Nick Taylor wins on a 72-foot putt.
This was yesterday.
This was yesterday. Like, I mean, I guess it was all weekend,
Right.
but the culmination was yesterday. So he winds up winning the Canadian Open. And I guess one of his, I don't know if you want to call him battery mates or another Canadian golfer, goes up to like hug him while the celebration's going on. And one of the security guards tackles him.
I have the answer.
Okay, here we go. We got the answer.
All suspensions are without pay.
Okay.
In addition, a suspended player can be replaced on the active roster by another player. If a player is on the injured list, the suspension is served while on the injured list.
Okay, so you don't lose the roster
slot. You don't lose the roster.
All right, so that's good. But I don't know. I guess it's just bad more for the pitcher, and depending if it's an ace or a really good pitcher, then you just lose him for a while if he gets hit with it twice. But you almost got to be silly to get caught twice.
Yeah.
You know, especially in one season. I wonder if you get caught one season and then you do it again in another season. Is that like
I wonder
statute
if
of
also
limitations?
Maybe there's like a statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you're caught again within 3 years, it's a second offense. Kind of like a speeding ticket, if you would. if you get points on your license, they drop off after 18 months, I think it is. But if you get another violation, it tacks on points, right? So there might be something similar to that with these types of violations, even if they're across seasons.
Okay.
Because then what would stop somebody from being, oh, you know what? I'm playing a really good team today. I'm going to go for it and see what happens. If I get suspended 10 games, I get suspended 10 games. But 50 games and 10 games,
it's huge.
Two different ballparks.
I wonder if they have a third suspension. Like, would someone be dumb enough to do it a third time?
Some of them might be dumb enough, and some of them might be suspended. At what point do you suspend someone for life?
I don't know if you could ever really do that.
You might be able to though, and that could be something down the line. If they have one player that becomes dumb enough to do this repetitively, season after season, that might be an addition to the rules. After your third offense, you're done in baseball.
Yeah, maybe.
Or fourth offense, something like that.
I feel like the rope is really loose there. I don't think they would like literally for the sticky stuff because they don't even do that for steroids.
How recent is the sticky stuff thing?
Like a year, 2 years tops.
I think it's too soon to
they don't even do that for steroids. Wouldn't steroids be worse? Don't you guys think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like yes and no. I feel like steroids ultimately.
I feel like steroids is worse because it's harder to detect.
Right. Like they do it through testing, and it's like not during the game either. So
I guess it depends how crafty you are too, though, right?
Yeah. And also if they I know they do randoms, but like, you could probably get away with stuff like that too. From random drug tests. People have been doing that for years as well.
Yeah, but my opinion too on steroids is just because you're on steroids doesn't necessarily make you better.
Right, but it's still an advantage. It's still an advantage. I would say.
It may be an advantage.
I think it is an advantage.
But what if
it's a genetically engineered advantage?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have a different opinion. I don't think.
Well, that's what this show is all about.
Right, I was giving me to it.
Just because you're on steroids doesn't necessarily make you better than the next guy. It's all about how you use it.
It certainly helps. Like, you know what I mean? It makes a guy that's not really that good.
Have you ever seen Captain America?
There are just some average guys just trying to make themselves just a little bit better, and they're still flying well under the radar.
That's as of what we know. There are those things that cover ups. I'm just saying
that I think there are far more players out there across all sports that are on steroids that are not performing well enough that you're going to detect it or even want to test them.
That might be true. However,
some people
they're still playing like a major sport. What if they weren't taking it? Would they even be there? That's the difference here. It can make a college player or a career minor leaguer player be able to play in the majors for 3 to 4 seasons. And there's plenty of guys that have like gotten clipped for one reason or another, where they got ratted out or they just like got caught in the testing, that once they did it and got caught and they went off it, their careers were done. And the first person that comes to my mind is Robinson Cano.
Oh, that's a good one.
And he did it. He tried to do. He got
He
caught
did it
twice. Okay, So
Don't you know?
yeah, he
Robbie
did not.
Cano, don't you know?
Apparently
I
he
miss
didn't.
him.
Yeah, and he was never
He
the
was a
same
good player though.
for
I
the
miss him.
Yankees. For the Yankees.
I know.
Yes, but
And then he tried to be too big for himself, and
well, he went with the money. So, and I don't blame him for doing so. But sometimes, that's not always the best decision. So, these things they kind of happen to people. But steroids aside, whatever. That's all well and good. I think we sealed it with the baseball for today. I don't know. Let's just briefly touch on the NBA Finals because it's about to start right now.
Or it could end tonight.
Yes, that's
yeah.
right. Well, that's what I was just going to get to. So Denver's playing Miami. I'm guessing they're in Denver.
Go Denver. They are in Denver.
Yes.
Anyone got any picks or anything? Like, I stopped watching because I think the NBA Finals is kind of boring.
I'm just kind of tired of Miami in general, so I don't care who Miami's playing. I'm rooting for Denver.
Nice.
Doesn't matter. They could be playing the Knicks.
Well,
I kind of like the Knicks. I kind of don't like the Knicks. I'm not really a basketball fan, so you can kind of leave me out of this conversation a little bit. But I am sick of the Heat. Every year, that's what you hear about. The Heat, the Heat, the Heat.
There's good news.
I'm over it.
They seem to be on their way out. The Denver's pretty much,
Because I have to watch one more championship go down there. I might lose it, and I don't even care about baseball.
Well, they lost last year, so they haven't won in a while. But Wanda, what were you saying?
Yeah, no, just that Denver seems to be in control pretty much most of this series, and it's looking more and more like Jokic is going to get his first ring.
Yep, and I do you know how long he's been playing for, Wanda? Because
I'm not sure, but they had some stat before that he trails only LeBron and Magic, I think, for playoff triple doubles.
Oh wow!
So
He's
that's pretty good company right there.
Poor guy.
Well, I think he's going to get one this year, so he'll be okay. I would imagine.
Right, and you never know now what's going to happen out there next year either. Once you win one, these guys like to stack it up and try and keep going. Like, look what the Warriors did. I can see Denver doing that for a couple years.
This will be Denver's first title ever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for them. I hope they win tonight. I could see the game going like it's close in the beginning, and then if they start pulling away at halftime, Miami just gives up, and then that's the game.
Most basketball games kind of end pretty close.
I'll tell that to the Knicks when they got blown out by Miami in one of those games.
Okay, as much as I have love for the Knicks, it's the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty good this year. They weren't bad. They did better than we thought they would. But yeah, so that's it for the NBA Finals. Let's go Denver. Let's just close it out tonight, so we don't have to watch any more basketball because I feel like we've been watching them most of the year. Like they drag out the NBA playoffs so much. It takes them like a third of the season to get through the playoffs. Like 2 months, and like the season's only like 4 months.
It does seem like they stretch it a little bit with the breaks in between games.
Right. It's like 2 days, 3 days, whatever. Anyway, enough NBA. Let's go to hockey. Hockey's almost over too.
Yay!
That's
my
another.
Favorite.
Yes, that's another thing we haven't touched upon much because we don't really know much about it. But that's why we have Christina here. So she's going to lead us off with this little bit of a not so late Florida Vegas somewhat preview, but it's almost over. So we're just going to say end of the Stanley Cup Finals.
I hope it's not almost over. I mean, I'm kind of rooting for Florida here. Oh, come on.
Let's go Vegas, baby.
All right. He's a Vegas boy.
That's right.
But you're taking a team here that shouldn't have even made the playoffs. And here they are now in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Who's that?
The Panthers.
Team of Destiny, perhaps.
They shouldn't have made the playoffs. And for them to make the playoffs, there was so much that had to happen.
Right.
And it all happened, and then they made it.
Well, what happened?
They knocked off Boston.
Okay.
Boston was the favorite to win the cup.
Okay.
They knocked them off. They had a year for themselves. They broke records.
Boston.
Okay. And then you have here the little Panthers who shouldn't have even made it, and they knocked out Boston. Then they came in and they knocked off Carolina. They swept out Carolina, who was the number 2 team. And then they had this long break, which is kind of what I think did them in.
The long break.
The long break.
How long was the break? Like a week?
I think it was more than a week because they swept out Carolina and all the other series kind of went 7 games. You don't start another round until
they're done.
Everyone else is done, right? So that long break kind of took their momentum away from them.
Got it.
So I don't know.
Vegas didn't go 7 games, did it, before they got the Stanley Cup? I think they finished
Dallas.
Dallas.
There was a couple of games that did go 7, and again, you don't start the next round
until everyone
is done in the current round.
Got it.
So I think that kind of did them in. But now you have Vegas that's up 3-1. Right? They're playing at home tomorrow.
Vegas is at home.
Yeah. Vegas kind of thrives at home. So I don't know if we're going to see the series go much further than tomorrow night. But
you're hoping it is.
I kind of hope
you want
it does.
Florida.
But then you also have the biggest propelling factor for Florida. That's Matthew Tkachuk. He's got an upper body injury. They're saying maybe separated shoulder.
Oof.
He played in the last game. I don't know if you watched it.
I think it said game time decision on the ticker. Before.
He didn't practice today. No one knows what's going to happen with him, but he's been their biggest drive. He has a shit ton of goals, a lot of assists, and he's kind of the guy that's bringing the whole team together and kind of moving them forward. He was in visible pain in the last game.
But these hockey guys are amazing with their pain and like playing through it.
Yeah, but to a point where if you can't lift your stick to even swing it,
he's ineffective. It's no good.
It's not going to help you anymore.
No, I get it. I totally get it. But
so if he can't play in Game 5, I think that's going to be a huge detriment.
And I mean, so basically, you're saying if he doesn't play, do you believe that it's just Vegas all the way in Game 5 and it's a wrap?
It might be. It might be.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really know, but wasn't there a guy that was on the Panthers and he went to Vegas during the draft?
Jonathan Marchessault.
Ah, okay.
So they tried to give him up. When there was the expansion draft to Vegas, they were like, please take this guy off our hands.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is now a huge factor for Vegas. I bet Florida's missing him now. But
I'm sure they are. right now, they got an uphill battle to try and even make it even and even force a game 6 or 7, whatever. I almost would guarantee
there's no evening it out. They gotta go 3 straight.
Right.
Florida's really got a huge.
I feel like hockey is one of those sports, and probably the only one, where once you get to 3-3, now it's anybody's game. Mm-hmm. Like in other sports, like you get.
I've seen that a lot as a Ranger fan. I've had many heart attacks.
Right. But it's not just you as a Ranger fan. I think it's a lot of different hockey teams. Like you go back and forth. Like you could be up 3-0, and all of a sudden it's 3-3, and now when you're even up 3-0, you still may win Game 7, but the pressure and depending on where you're playing and all these factors, like you could lose 4 in a row, and then that's a wrap for you. You said it's happened with the Rangers, not maybe that like that, but
and just to also touch upon Marchessault, he's also now the favorite for the Conn Smythe Trophy, which in hockey is like a huge thing.
Well, he should be.
Again, this is a player that the Panthers couldn't wait to give up.
Well, let me ask you this. Don't you think he's going to be playing with a huge chip on his shoulder tomorrow anyway? So he's going to do anything he can to put Florida down tomorrow. And
but you know what? If you also think back over the last couple of seasons, the Florida Panthers were nothing and nobodies. I don't know how much of a chip on his shoulder he has to be playing for Vegas in the first place. They have succeeded in their first couple of seasons as a team.
Yep.
As a player coming from a team who this is their very first Stanley Cup win in general. They've never won a Stanley Cup. They've been lucky if they've made it to a Stanley Cup. I don't know.
Vegas?
Florida. I don't know if they've ever made it to the Stanley Cups before. I can't tell you.
I mean, you're the hockey person, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like they're in the playoffs a bunch of times recently.
As a player on the Panthers, a team going nowhere, and they will like go to Vegas, I would be like, okay, get rid of me. I'll go play for them. And they did so well in their first season.
Yeah, they went to the Stanley Cup in their first season.
And they're still doing well.
Yep.
I mean, win or
they made the
lose,
playoffs
that was
every
their
season.
first season.
Yep.
I don't know how much of a chip on his shoulder he has.
No, just in general.
I'd be grateful to be playing for that team.
You would be, but it depends how you got there.
We don't know like how his exit was from Florida.
But like, if you're
That
telling
was the
us,
thing. You didn't really have a choice, right? If I told you you were going to Vegas,
No,
you
but
went to Vegas.
yeah, right. But what I'm saying is like, we don't know if they just wanted to move on from him. We don't know if they were doing the right thing by him. Like, we don't know. So
right? And here's the thing: normally with these kind of drafts, when you have a new team, you put up a few players that you're not going to protect on your team,
Right.
and then the
You
other
gotta
team
put
gets to
up a
pick
certain
them.
number of
So
everything.
just if I said to you, I'm like whatever team, and I'm like, Christina, you're going to be on the block for that new team. I'm keeping Wander instead. Would you not have a little chip on your shoulder once you went to Vegas? Because you remember, you're not knowing that you're going to make the Stanley Cup the next year. That might soften the blow a little bit, like, screw Florida. I made it to the Stanley Cup, but you still lost the Stanley. You didn't win the Stanley Cup. Ultimately, your job is to win the Stanley Cup. So you would get all the way to the Stanley Cup and then lose. So I'm not saying you would have a chip on your shoulder more so that you lost the Stanley Cup, but if you didn't want me on your team and now I'm on Vegas, if I ever played you, I'm playing 10 times harder against you than any other team in that sport, because I want to shove the puck, baseball, football down your throat. Because you let me go and now I'm awesome. I'm just going to show you how awesome I am. And apparently, from what you're saying, that's what he's doing in Florida right now. And that's why I think there's that chip, and he's going to do everything he can tomorrow to close it out. And as he should. These kind of games where it's 3-1, any which way, like, you should close people out right away.
Ready for the Panthers. I like a good underdog story. Little
All right.
Cinderella story.
As we say here, that's your opinion, and you're welcome to it.
Thank you.
I don't think we actually ever said that, but it's the name of the show. I guess we're just gonna cut right to it, Wander. Let's go into TVs, movies, what we've all been seeing. I know, Christina, you're not gonna have much here, but anything you can add, please do. We like to talk a couple of shows and give like suggestions here and there.
should we start with the cinema?
Sure, let's start with the cinema.
What have you seen while we've been away?
Seen a lot. What have I seen? So I saw Transformers.
How was that?
It was good.
Is a new Transformers?
Yes.
Okay, for those of you that don't know, I don't really watch movies. I kind of hate them. They're too
You
long.
hate movies?
I do. I'm sorry. So I didn't even realize there was a new Transformer movie out. How many of them are there now?
There's a lot.
Hate is a strong word. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They're just so long. You get lost in the storylines. I'd rather watch 10 episodes and binge watch a TV show than watch a movie.
Well, we'll be talking about that shortly. So just
We'll
hold
get
your
there.
horses. Yeah, we'll get there. We're rounding the corner.
Hang
like
on.
the horses. We're coming around the final turn. I watched Transformers on the little Fire Stick thingy, and it was good. I could pick it apart a little bit, but overall it was good. Christina, what you have to know is that the movie might be long, and this movie wasn't even that long. It was like 2 hours, so it wasn't terrible. But there's really not much of a story to those kind of movies. Like, you just go to see like the robots,
And
The action scenes.
You could do either. Like, I would go to the movies to see it. I just didn't have the time, and
Especially with Movie Pass, right?
Right, yeah, the movie pass is dope. But yeah, did we talk? We talked about Guardians last time.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so we talked about Guardians. So yeah, that's pretty much it. From what I'm remembering right now.
Are you hyped for The Flash this Thursday? I think, or
Yes,
Friday.
I have to go see that.
I wonder how many tickets that movie has sold just by having Michael Keaton as Batman in it.
Probably a lot. Like, the early hype about it is real. They're saying it's a good movie, so there's a lot of our friends, I'm sure, that bought tickets already. I'm gonna buy it closer to
Closer to game time.
Yeah, just because there's a lot going on right now, and I don't know when I'll be able to see it. Hopefully, I get to see it this weekend. That'll be dope.
You should treat yourself.
Yeah, it's tough. So my sister had twins over the.
Oh,
over
congratulations,
Congrats,
Uncle Rye.
Thank you. So shout out to her. She's healthy. The babies
Excellent.
are healthy. Michelangelo and Meadow, they're both healthy.
Great names.
So everything is great. Yeah, great names. So they're home resting right now. And so
Are both babies home now?
She a
no.
Sopranos
Meadows
fan?
can be in the hospital for a little bit, right?
She should be home at the latest by the end of the week, or what the doctors are saying. So that's good. They'll get the house ready for her, but it's really good. My sister's doing well. She's happy for the most part. I'm sure she wants both babies home, but once Meadow gets a little bit better, a little bit heavier, fatter. I don't know how you say
She's
it.
gotta gain up. She's gotta gain a little weight.
Yeah, gain a little weight. It's not a big deal. I think she needs like a 1.5 pounds, so that shouldn't take
She has
too
to
long.
be at least 5 to go home.
Yeah. So yeah, she was rounding 4, I think.
Well, hopefully she'll be home soon.
Right. So she should be home soon. I wish my sister the best of luck. Her husband Mike and the babies. I'll see them soon. So with that, that's why it's going to be a little crazy to see these movies, but hopefully I get to see some of these things because looks like a jam-packed summer with movies. Like
I
it just
think,
doesn't stop.
yeah,
June's crazy.
I was talking about this with our friend Mike from Elsie, and yeah, they put them all together. They're all like in
All in
June.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
one
Indiana Jones
right
also
after
coming
one right.
out.
They just lumped them all together.
Which I don't understand why, unless they're
I mean,
all made.
you had 3 months, but
Right.
I
Yeah.
guess hey, let's just do it all in one.
Well, Indiana Jones is Disney, right? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is Disney.
Right.
Transformers is whatever. I don't know what it is. Is it Warner Bros? I don't really even know.
I'm not sure.
But you could have spaced it out a little bit.
Give us a breather at least,
Right, 100%. Oh, I wish you were listening to whatever this commercial is right now with the Netflix. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger and Chris Hemsworth on a commercial.
2 of your favorites.
Yep. By the way, not to jump into TV, but that show on Netflix, Fubar, pretty good so far. I'm up to episode 3. It's pretty good. It's entertaining.
Nice.
Yep. You still got it. Still got it. Anything else for movies that you?
Yeah, I went to the cinema Thursday.
Cinema. Can we just call them movies?
I saw the picture that I saw was Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. It was really good. I love just the style, the art,
like the animation.
Yeah, just beautiful. But just it's just like a great comic book movie. The writing is great. Everything ties together.
Right.
And I highly recommend it.
Awesome.
Take the fam if you like. It's just fun for the whole family.
Oh, I will. My parents and my sister love that, so I'll try and take whoever I can. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, any other movies you saw?
For the cinema, that was it.
Okay, so I guess we'll move on to TV real quick.
Okay.
I just finished Yellow Jackets.
Okay, now I finished it as well. Let's hear it.
I want you to go first.
No. I want to. I've been waiting for this reaction for a few days, so I'd like to see it live.
So I liked season 1.
Right.
I thought season 2 was a bit boring at times. It dragged on. And
long-winded, perhaps.
Yeah, it got weird at times. I'm like, what is happening? I knew it would kind of get weird.
Yeah.
Season 1 was even a little weird, but it still had you hooked. This is kind of wild.
Yeah.
And at
some mystery. You were intrigued by the mystery.
Yeah. At some point, black box are not on a plane. I get it's a TV show and they destroy that chick destroyed it. At what point does someone not in aviation or whatever check where the last location of the box was?
Right.
It doesn't stop. Even if it breaks, you still get the last known location. Why are these kids for months? It's almost all winter they're there.
Yeah.
And the way it ended, I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember how it ended.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Similar feelings for myself. First season I really enjoyed. The second season, at certain points it had potential, but it's just I think the net is too wide. And they got too much stuff going on and the different storylines, and how they tried to just tie it all together at the end, it wasn't good.
Well, as someone who didn't really watch the show, the big feedback that I got from people in general was that the big storylines just had too many holes.
Yeah, it's just the writing. It's
all the things that kind of drew you in the first season kind of fell flat.
For me,
in the second season.
Right.
For me, it's the writing. It's not that good. There's stuff that pulls you in and piques your interest, but then it also seems like they're kind of like, I don't know if it's stalling or they don't know where they want to take it, but yeah, it's just the payoff is not there for me. And I thought the last when the last episode was over, I saw my friend that night, and I had to ask him. I said, "Was that it?" Because it's just not like
Yeah.
it's not firm. It's not
And it
it's
was only
just kind
9
of it's like
episodes.
kind of like half-assed, to be
Yeah.
honest with
Yeah.
you.
And it was only 9 episodes. Like you couldn't throw one more episode in there like you did season 1 and have 10 episodes and like try to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's just, it just seems like the focus
Lazy.
is very. It seems very
Got
lazy.
lazy. Like
Like
they
they
got
drank their own Kool-Aid
yeah.
after that
Yep.
first
Like
season.
they were so proud of season 1. Like, yeah, we can write anything. They're gonna write.
So,
What's weird is I think they have another season.
oh, I'm sure they do. Without doubt, I'm sure
Maybe it'll pick back up in 3.
Yeah, if people are watching it,
Because you know
they
what?
probably
If
have at
anyone's
least
like
one more
a
season.
serious watcher, they're going to be commenting on the internet about how much they hated season 2. Maybe they'll try to rectify that stuff in season 3.
You would hope. I mean, Jesus. Like I said, I don't even remember what the ending was in season 2. Like I watched
Do
it
you
and
want
I'm
me to
like,
tell you? Do you want me to tell you?
yeah, please, because I don't even remember right now. I just saw it the other day.
They got back. They're back at what's her name's Lottie's
Yeah,
place. They're
Lottie's
at Lottie's
place.
retreat or
Yeah.
whatever cult thing, and they do the drawing of the cards again, which they did when they were young.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that draws it is, I guess, like the main character. I forget her name. So they're about to
Shauna, that's right.
they're about to, I guess, kill her or sacrifice her, but then cooler heads prevail. Actually, no,
Someone
cooler
else
heads
dies in her
don't
place.
prevail. One of Lottie's
Natalie dies.
one of Lottie's disciples or whatever pulls up with a shotgun, and Christina Ricci is going. She's got the syringe, I guess, with a lethal shot in there, so she's going to take out the Lottie's crony, and
Sounds like a
what do
great
you
show.
what do you call it? That's when the Juliette Lewis character interferes, and
Yeah, Natalie.
that's it for her.
Right. Yeah, and then that's when they say that's pretty much the end, right?
Yeah.
They ended right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it goes to flashback of her, on the plane.
Right. And all that stuff.
It's like it's another parallel. It reminds me of too. It's like Lost.
Mm-hmm.
Lost was a very good show. I do have a lot of problems with the end of it.
Yeah.
But similar to Lost, it's like where you weave all this like mystery and but then you can't land it, and it's like
you failed.
That bothers me.
Yeah,
a
you
lot.
failed to.
I don't know. I'm like picky about certain things.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
That's one of them.
That's one of the things I didn't like about Lost either. They almost did a Sopranos thing with it, or similar to Sopranos, where like they want you to think whatever you want. They kind of like give you like a vague ending, and you can interpret it however you want, which to me is always lazy.
I want you to wrap it up.
Yeah.
You need closure.
Remember the Sopranos?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It was on the same line as Sopranos, and this is the same thing with Yellow Jackets, and they still have another season to go, which. I'm sure a lot of people still watch it, but I'm sure there'll be people out there like, I'm not wasting my time with this every week. Like,
yeah, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
No, absolutely not. And that whole thing with the Lost and Sopranos, like you said, you
wrote the story.
Spell it out, pal.
End it for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Don't be lazy. Like to me, that's lazy. Like you're a Hollywood writer. Spell it out what happened.
Right, my own.
Like you don't want to show what happens. Like for Sopranos, maybe they didn't want to show the gore of his family all getting killed.
Gore. Did you watch the whole series?
100%. I do. What I'm saying, like if you don't want to see like the kids get killed or something like that, like I understand it, but figure out a creative. Like you're a writer, figure out a creative way to do it. Like you could do something wild, and it doesn't have to totally make sense. But I guarantee you, whatever you come up with, besides what you actually did, would be better. Like even if Tony Soprano got shot once, boom, right in the chest, and they left. Great. At least we know he's dead. That's it, though. Instead of let's fade to black, we don't know what happened. Oh, some people think he's dead.
No, I think it's I think it's implied that that's it. He's
right, but some people are like, oh, you don't like. There's an argument like about it, so it's like.
I mean, I'm just saying that's what I took away from.
Yeah, I mean, I did too, but you know what? Show it. That's all. Just show it.
I put in all the effort to watch the series. Show it.
That's it. So, all right. So I guess that's what. Anything else with TV?
Yeah, actually.
What do you got?
Let's see. So, what did I watch recently? So yeah, Yellow Jackets. Very disappointed with that. I watched Swarm on Prime. That was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. The girl from it, her name escapes me. Let me see if I could pull that up really quickly.
Now is that like Yellow Jackets? Because it's Swarm.
Oh, look at that! Nice transition.
Yeah.
Um, Dominique Fishback, fantastic in that series. Just man, very good. Really enjoyed that one. Just like an original concept. It's like has to deal with like fandom of like music artists and how it can get out of hand sometimes. It will just leave it at that. But
Yeah, that's good.
really enjoyed that one. Barry, wow,
I gotta finish that.
what a
Is the
great
season over?
yeah.
And that's the last season,
And
right?
that's it. It's done. But man, what a curtain call! Just a phenomenal show. Just got better. Each season. Just it was just fun to watch. It was just fun to watch the ascension pretty
Mhm.
much. Just a great show
Yeah,
that
I gotta
only
watch
got
that.
better with time. And the finale did not disappoint at all.
Yeah, good for him. I like what is it?
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader. I
Yeah,
like him.
great dude.
Yeah.
He could do whatever he wants now too. His work. His work in Barry speaks for
Yeah,
itself.
he's good.
On and off the camera as
I
well.
like him. Yeah, I wish him the best. I hope he does get a lot more stuff because he was always that silly guy on SNL and he did like all these things.
Yeah.
But he never got the. I don't think he ever really got the big break. Like he was in a couple movies, but like not major,
Yeah.
anything crazy roles. But now he had his own show and it's good. I didn't see the last season, but I can't wait to watch it.
Oh yeah, dude, you're in for a treat. And then the other show I started was Ancient Apocalypse with Graham Hancock. That's a cool show. I'm really digging that. And a similar podcast that I started is Earth Ancients. Also, some cool, fascinating stuff. So if you're interested, give it a listen. Let me know. Let us know what you think.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it for TV.
Now, do you have? Because we're gonna wrap this up now.
Yeah.
Do you have any music?
Yeah,
you
I'll
to that you
throw
wanna
in.
spit
Yeah, I'll
out?
throw in. I got two selections this week for your musical taste. We're gonna go with "Champagne for Breakfast" from Madlib, Mayhem Lauren, and DJ Muggs.
Sounds
Really
like what you'd
enjoyed
have in
that one.
Vegas, actually.
Hey, baby,
Champagne for
when
breakfast.
when
I do
in
that on a
Vegas.
regular weekday, but
And then the other one is Six. It's a new project by Kenny Mason. So yeah, check those out if you're a fan of hip hop.
All right,
all
cool.
right.
Christine, you got any closing arguments you want to say before we wrap up this first show with you, or what?
No, I mean I have so much fun with you guys.
You enjoyed
Thanks
it?
again for having me.
You're
Oh,
welcome. It was
our
great
pleasure.
having you. It was yes, it was our pleasure. I had a great time today. A few last little things. If you haven't seen the John Sterling video, see that. If you haven't seen Adam Hadwid get tackled by a security guard, see that. And then Floyd Mayweather fight. There was a big brawl at the end. I mean, it's only 30 seconds, nothing crazy, but check that out too. I found all those kind of funny.
He fought?
Yeah, he fought Gotti. I guess over the weekend or something
Wow.
like that.
Totally went over my
And it
head.
got kind of crazy at the end. It's a short clip of like 30, 35 seconds. Nothing crazy. Nothing really.
Oh, did you see the mascot get knocked out?
No, I
last
wish.
Weekend?
Well, check that out too because I'm going to check it out for the first
Oh,
time.
by
too.
McGregor,
By
right?
McGregor.
Is that
McGregor
state?
knocked the mascot
Is
out.
that was that state? Was that
Yo,
stage?
apparently the guy. I heard about that on
He
the radio.
went to the hospital.
He went to the hospital.
He punched him twice. He had to go to the
Yeah.
hospital. Oh, that should have been on the show earlier. That was
Right.
super funny.
I wish you told me that before we got on the show, so I got to watch it.
I didn't think about it.
I'm going to watch it now. I did hear about that. That's actually funny.
I wonder if Proper 12 was involved.
I don't know what was involved, but I heard it was pretty funny. So, check out those videos. So, yeah, that'll wrap it up. Everyone have a good week, a great night. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thanks again for Christina coming on and Wander always doing your diz.
Remember, it's the kings and queens.
Don't listen to that.
Chill with that.
Right.
Thank you for joining us, and keep it right here. next week we'll be back.
Right.
Sorry for the hiatus, and we'll catch you in the next cartoon.
That's right. Enjoy your week, guys.
Have a good week, everyone. Bye.
Peace out.